sounds like the Intelligence Committee might share something with us. Be on the lookout for an email or something to alert us to when we can go take a look at this document that they want to share with us. And we get nothing through our email system. There's no normal emails. You know, if the Intelligence Committee or anyone in Congress wants to share something with us, you know, come down to have a briefing on any topic, whether it's intelligence or armed services or any other committee, they send you an email to your normal house email. So I personally would get an email saying there's a briefing tomorrow, come check it out. That's the ordinary course of business if they really want to share something with you. And we got nothing like that. I didn't see anything in my email. Then at some point in the afternoon, one of my staff members says to me, hey, we got this strange thing through the Dear Colleague system. Now, the Dear Colleague, there's a Dear Colleague system in Congress where members used to write each other letters, Dear Colleague letters, where they'd say, you know, they'd hand them office to office. And they'd say, like, please sign my bill, or co-sponsor my bill, or sign my letter. Well, now it's all done electronically. And there's a Dear Colleague sort of electronic system. And frankly, it's almost like a spam box. Because everybody, you know, there's 435 members in the House, and everyone's got an idea or a letter. So it really fills up. It's almost impossible to notice anything in there. It's almost always by accident that you notice something interesting in there. So one of my staffers was being very thoughtful about this. I said, please be careful and look out for this. Found an invitation to take a look at this document in the Dear Colleague system. So not through the normal email system, not through an email to all members of Congress or all House members come and do this, but through the Dear Colleague letter system. So this was in the afternoon on the day before we were all scheduled to fly out of town. We had votes the next morning, and then people were leaving town to go back to their districts. And the letter said, there is a document that the Intelligence Committee wants to share with you, and it will be available for your member to view between 9 a.m. and noon tomorrow. 9 a.m. to noon. And this was around the same time we were going to have votes, and then we were going to leave town. So people were all ready to go on their flights and all the rest. Not exactly the most ideal situation. Well, I go back to the House floor, and I say to my colleagues, did you see this invitation to check out this document? Like, what are you talking about? There's no invitation, nobody said anything. I said, yeah, we found it. We found something. So on the morning that they're having this briefing, I say to my colleagues, hey, why don't you come down with me to this briefing room? They're like, whatever you say. You know, they hadn't seen it. I said, trust me, there's a briefing going on. I said, okay, we'll go down with you. I go down to the briefing room, and the members who are in the briefing room are just the members that I talked to. Nobody else was in there because nobody else had seen the invitation to come view this document. And we had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which prevents us from talking about the document with any of our colleagues. So a handful of us saw this document, we got to read it, and we're not even allowed to talk to any of our colleagues, who they all have top secret clearance, but we can't talk to any of our colleagues about this. And that's it, that's the last it's been heard of. And this is the kind of stuff that's going on in our government right now in terms of oversight. There's very little oversight. The intelligence committees have become, they're basically working with the executive branch against the interests of Congress. And I think we have a real problem that we need to address here. So the members of Congress have a real oversight. And that's why I know Jim Sensenbrenner is coming later today. He's working on legislation that I think will get us to a much better place. It's not the end point where we need to be, but it's a great start. And with that, I want to just open it up to questions, and thank you again for having me here. Well, I would say this about committees in general. People are placed on committees because they will agree with the chairman of the committee. And I think that is a real problem. That's a serious problem. There's not enough diversity of opinion in Congress. So, if you're placed on the Intelligence Committee, it's very likely that you're placed there because you're going to agree with what's going on in the Intelligence Committee. Now, you have exceptions like Senator Wyden, but that's pretty rare. That's not normal.
But I see from district, in other words, it might change from Senator like who's the guy that most people use in commerce, couldn't use it for commerce, and then they moved him over, and he had worked in California, he was governor, director of California, but then he went to work for Lockheed Martin. But that his seat remained on the Intelligence Committee, so that those areas where the military contractors have their activities, those seats are always on those committees.
Well, I don't know all the facts about that, but I would say, for example, you have the NSA headquarters is in the district of the ranking member of intelligence. So yeah, that kind of stuff does go on. Go ahead. Yeah.
Wait for the microphone. Thank you.
Senator Wyden mentioned this morning about being lied to, although I don't think he used that word. And the panel of journalists also spoke about the lies from the government. And so my question is, as a member of Congress, how can you hold accountable when you get lied to? And I think these people who come in, particularly when they come and lie specifically to Congress, there ought to be some penalty to that.
Yeah, and that's it. I agree with you. That's going to take public pressure. At the end of the day, the public makes that kind of thing happen, more so than members of Congress. I can put all the pressure on the world on them to go after someone who's lying to Congress, for example, some executive branch official, but they won't do it unless they think the public is really behind it. For example, Director Clapper very clearly lied to Congress. And I have said many times that he should step down, he should resign, he should be prosecuted for lying. We can't have those kind of actions happening in Congress and find it acceptable. If you're going to say that the Director of National Intelligence can come to Congress and just lie to Congress and the American people, we have lost all moral authority as Congress.
Sir, my name is Amash. You made a very interesting point. You described the process. Now, almost 5 or 6 years ago, when Nancy Pelosi was interviewed, she said, they all came and lied to us. And there was a huge uproar, cornering her, making her apologize too. So, is this a process you want to keep?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the question.
Is this a process where the administration wants to do arbitrary things and not want to brief Congress? Really, like you said, they come in the room and make you ask 20 questions. And this is a strategy KGB used with their people too. So are we in the same process, and do you want to keep this process?
I think the process is broken, and the problem is the oversight. It's not surprising to me that the administration wants to try to hide this stuff. That's really not that surprising. supposed to oversee the executive branch. They are supposed to represent Congress and the people. They're supposed to make sure that the executive branch is not acting in ways that violate the law. But instead of doing that, they're actually working with the executive branch to hide things from Congress, to hide things from the American people.
Can I just ask for a clarification? When they make you sign an agreement not to reveal, that itself is a problem. How can you criticize somebody if they say, well, we'll tell you all the things, whatever we can, and you're sort of secrecy. Itself is a ridiculous.
The real problem is with the overall process, though. That kind of agreement would have less meaning if they actually wanted to do oversight and involve members of Congress and wanted to make it transparent. If they really wanted members of Congress to be at that briefing, then you wouldn't need the non-disclosure agreement wouldn't really mean that much. Because at least you know that your colleagues have had the opportunity to review the document.